Uninformed immigrants are at a huge disadvantage in court, in financial and legal matters, and also sometimes in life. Well, what can we do about it? I'll tell you what. We can train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to maximize their lives regardless of their immigration status. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. I am your immigration lawyer and host, Otis Landerholm, and this is the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. All right. Hello. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another one of our Client Success Summits. Thank you all so much for being here. And it's April 24th. So happy to see you all. And so here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? And welcome. And my question for you is, are you ready? And have you been ready? Are we waiting for something to be happening? Are we sitting here waiting, ready? Like, how many of us feel like we're waiting for something to happen right now in our lives? Maybe we're waiting for a vaccine. Maybe we're waiting for immigration reform. Maybe we're waiting for an immigration judge to decide our case. Maybe we're waiting for our lawyer to file our case. Maybe we're waiting for this pandemic to end. It's like we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. Well, my hope and my message today is no more. No more waiting. Enough. Like, I'm tired of it. Are you tired of it? It's time to stop waiting and to start doing. It's time to stop waiting and to start living. It's springtime, people. It's springtime. Welcome to the spring. And in the spring, we stop waiting and we start doing. In the spring, the farmers don't wait around anymore. You've got to jump on it. You got to plant those seeds. Spring doesn't last forever. You've got to take advantage of the spring or you will miss out. And here's the thing, spring is short. And you know something? Life is short. You've got to take advantage of it. Let's not sit back and wait for the world around us to change. Wait for the pandemic to change. Wait for immigration laws to change. Let's not sit back and wait for the world around us to change. Let's us change. Like, we've got to change if we want to take advantage of the spring. We've got to be smart to take advantage of the spring. We've got to learn to take advantage of the spring. And that is what our day today is about. How to take advantage of the spring in our lives, how to spot opportunities in our lives, and how to take action when we can. All right? So now I want to tell you a story. Like, once upon a time, there was a young woman who grew up in poverty. She was a racial minority. She was raped when she was 14 years old. She became pregnant from it. Her son was born prematurely and died as an infant. Now, if you just heard that, what would you say her chances were of becoming successful in life? What would you say were her chances of living a fulfilled, prosperous, joyous, life? It's pretty tough, right? To grow up in abject poverty, to be raped when she's 14 and become pregnant. I mean, that's a pretty tough place to start from. And yet, do you know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about that is the story of Oprah Winfrey. Do you know who she is? She's like talk show extraordinaire, first African-American multi-billionaire, the winner of the Presidential Medal of Freedom and like lots of other awards, actress, you know, news anchor, talk show host. She owns her own channel, TV channel. Like, how is it possible that someone starts with such difficult circumstances in life and is still able to achieve enormous success? How is that possible? How does somebody go from poverty to riches? How does someone make a radical change in their lives? Now, that's a big question, and I don't have the full answer. I don't know if anybody has the full answer. All right, maybe a lot of it is like the grace of God, right? But I think at least a piece of the answer, is to be open to opportunity, to spot the opportunities around us, to grab onto them, to attract them, and to go for it once you have them. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. That's what our Client Success Summit today is all about. All right? So here's the plan. I'm going to take you through a process called our 90-day look back, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then we'll talk about what it means to be the spring and to have the spring opportunities, how to take advantage of the spring. And we're going to start what we call the 90-day look back. And so take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes and really look, all right? Examine your life. Examine your progress. What things have you done in your life? What progress have you made? What is positive? And what have you done positive in various areas of your life in the last 90 days, the last 3 months? All right? And so I want to give you some time to really think about it, because every once in a while it's good to just reflect and get our head clear on like, hey, what's going right? What's going well? Okay? And so as we do that, you know, this is our 4th Client Success Summit. We started doing these in the middle of the pandemic. And so welcome to it. And the first one was in July of last year. And, you know, in January, we talked about goals and we talked about how to create the lives we want to create. All right. And so now here we are 3 months later. And so during these past 90 days, what has happened in your lives? All right. What can we celebrate about it? What's something that you took on? Was there a victory? What did you accomplish that was positive? All right? And so now I'm going to pause and give you some time. And please do pull out a piece of paper, write down 3 to 5, things that you've done since January of this year until now to improve your life. Think about good things that have happened in your life in the past quarter. All right? So do that. I'll see if I can put on some background music while we do that, and then we'll meet again here in just 5 minutes. All right. Thanks, everyone. So for me personally, this last quarter was awesome. We had a lot of moving parts inside of our office. We've we brought in 2 additional employees, and we have a 3rd one on the way, which I'm excited about. On a personal level, I saw my mother and I saw my sister, and they were the first people in my family that I've seen. I mean, my wife and my kids, I see them every day, but I don't get to see my extended family very much. And so that was a win for me. I got to see my mother and I got to see my sister. All right? And so I felt really good about that. And and by the way, we got a new president at the beginning of this last 90 days. and we've had lots of positive changes in immigration laws and lots of good things that have happened within our office. So there's lots of positive things outside of my, personal family. I just wanted to share that. All right. And so I really do encourage each of you to think about, okay, what is something good that's happened in your life in the last 90 days as well? And so I hope you did that. And now we'll keep moving right along. All right. And as I mentioned, see in your app where it says there's like a thumbs up sign. And you can that's where you can raise your hand or give a thumbs up or whatever if you want me to call on you, essentially. All right, we're doing great. So we're done with the last 90 days. So fantastic. All right, I declare the last 90 days complete. They're done. It's in the past. All right, and so now we switch gears. We switch gears and we talk about the present because the past doesn't exist anymore. And really what we're here to focus on is the present. And what I want us to talk about today is how do we recognize opportunities in the present? And I want to talk about, okay, how can we be open-minded so that we can better recognize opportunities around us? How can we attract opportunities to us? How can we really take advantage of them when we have them? All right? And so here we are. It's the spring, and spring is the time of opportunity, as I've mentioned. And so the question is, how do we recognize opportunities around us? And the question is, how do we increase our chances? How do we maximize our chances of recognizing, being able to spot an opportunity that's around us? And so imagine two people. Imagine two people. We'll call them person A and person B. And imagine that person A is stressed out. Imagine person A is worried and nervous and constantly wondering where his next job is going to be coming from. And imagine person A eats more than he should and drinks more than he should. And imagine that person A finds excuses when things don't go his way. All right, that's person A. And now imagine person B. And person B is the opposite. Person B is calm. Person B is well rested. Person B is comfortable even when in between jobs, because person B has this optimistic attitude that something good is going to happen. Person B has his diet under control, doesn't eat too much or drink too much. And person B takes responsibility for his decisions and for his life. All right? Now imagine that there's opportunities around person A and person B. But which of those two is going to be more able to see it? Which of those two is going to be more likely to recognize that there are opportunities around them? All right? Which of those people are you more like? Which of those two people do you want to be more like? So this brings up a point. All right? This brings up a point. And really the point is, how do we be less stressed? All right? There's three things that I want to go through right now on this point. Thing number one is just slow down. Thing number two is to act with purpose. And thing number three is to take care of yourself. And so we'll go through each of those. You'll see what I mean. All right? Thing number one is slow down. All right? And this is one of the key ways to being less stressed. And so to do that, I actually want to do something with you here. All right? So bear with me. Bear with me. Humor me. join me. So with me right now, I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. And I'm going to breathe in, and then we're going to count to 5. And then we're going to breathe out. And we're going to do that 3 times. All right, are you ready? All right, and if you're, I don't know, if it's not convenient to do it right this second, you can do it later, but I'm just saying, if you're able to, if you're in a room where you can do this and focus, do this with me, and it'll help us slow down a little bit. All right, so ready? Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now breathe out. Nice. Again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. And again, breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out. All right, thanks. Thank you for doing that. So here's the thing. Stress causes our bodies to enter into this like fight or flight response. Okay? It causes blood in our bodies to go towards our legs and our arms, like to fight or to flight, right? To fight or to run away. Arms to fight, legs to run away. But by doing that, the blood that carries oxygen that we just breathed into our bodies, when we're stressed, that blood doesn't go to our brains. When we're stressed, that blood goes to our arms and to our legs. In fact, did you know that there are studies that actually show that when we are stressed, we are less open-minded? There are studies that show that when we are stressed, we are less creative. We're less capable. We're less able to process information. When we're stressed, we are less able to recognize opportunities. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that insane? Listen, like, you could make more money. You could have more opportunities in life. You could find, you'd have more opportunity, more chances of finding the love of your life. You'd have more opportunity, more chances of achieving whatever it is you want to achieve. You'd have more opportunity, more chances of doing what you want and living the way you wanted if you were less stressed. And by that I mean if you sleep better, if you eat better, if you have less drama at home, if you breathe more, if you're less reactive. And so it's like everybody. It's like not just us here on this call. It's like the whole planet Earth. Let's slow down. Let's slow down. And let's just take a deep breath every once in a while. Let's enjoy life. And let's not be all stressed out about every little thing, like so many people are. All right? And so some tips on how to slow down, right? Go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier so that you're not in a hurry in the morning. All right? Me, I'm not every day, but I'm often the first person here to arrive to the office. You could do that. You could do that too, if you want. For me, it helps me I got my game plan. I know what I'm doing. I can be, I can be my best. All right? Another tip is stop turning on and stop looking at your phone at all times of the day. Technology does not help to eliminate stress the vast majority of the time. All right? If anything, it's the opposite. It contributes to stress. So turn it off. When I'm at work, my phone's off. My cell phone, at least. All right? I check it on my way home or after I've already been productive during the day, right? Be intentional. My next tip is be intentional with your sources of news. News often causes stress. All right? And it doesn't have to. And so be intentional. All right? If it is stressful, and if you know it's going to be stressful, don't watch it or don't do it in the morning. All right? The morning is precious. The morning is when you're going to start your day and you're going to start being productive and doing things that matter to you. So don't interrupt, don't destroy your opportunity to be productive in any day by stressing yourself out in the morning. My last tip on how to slow down is just be present with your loved ones. All right? Look your husband or your wife in the eye. Tell them you love them. Be present with your kids. Slow down and be with them. Turn the phone off and be with them. I promise you, doing that can contribute to less stress. The second big kind of tip the second big tip that I want to share about stress is to act with purpose. Why do we do what we do? And why do you do what you do? Because here's the thing, it causes stress to do something when you don't really believe in it. It causes stress to do something when you don't really want to be doing that. And the reverse is very much true. It can create great flow, great energy. It can, you can be incredibly good at what you're doing too if you can do something that you really enjoy, do something you really want to do, that you're passionate about, that matters to you. All right? And so what is that for you? Why do you do what you do? Because if you can be passionate about it, oh my gosh, right? And that brings up the conversation of motivation. All right, now think about it. Think about work, all right? If we go to work because we're afraid, that's one way to be motivated, right? In our mind, oh, I'm afraid that if I don't go to work, I'm going to lose my apartment. If I don't go to work, all this bad stuff is going to happen, all right? Fear is a motivator, but it's pretty dang stressful. Not the best way to be motivated to go do something. All right? What's another motivation? I mean, heck, we could go to work because we're bored. Right? Heck, we could go to work because we're bored, we don't have anything better to do. It's like, okay, I'll go to work today, I guess. All right? That might not be stressful, but it's also not very motivating. All right? It's like if we go to work, okay, and here I want to say this too. If we go to work and we're thinking in our mind, the only reason I'm here is because I'm undocumented. The only reason I'm here is because of my immigration status. And as soon as I fix my immigration case, I'm going to go get a better job. I'm going to aguantarlo. I'm going to suffer I'm going to put up with this job for now, just until I get my immigration status sorted out, and then I'm going to get a better job. If that's the thing going on in our mind, I mean, come on, it's not very motivating. All right, that's no way. That's nothing that's going to get you excited to get out of bed in the morning. All right, and let me tell you, I got a lot of clients that are in that situation, and it's like we got to change it. We got to change it because you don't have to be. All right, but if you go to work, if we go to work because we're excited to do it, and we're excited to contribute to something that's larger than ourselves, and if we go to work because we believe in the work that's happening, that's when we have positive motivation and it's not causing stress. I mean, sure, there'll be stress on the job, right? There's, you know, anytime we're trying to grow or do something new or whatever, yeah, there's going to be stress already on the job, but it doesn't cause like an additional level of stress just, oh, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? All right? So number one is to slow down. We talked about that. Number two is to act with purpose. And that is, if you're doing a job, like, do it with your heart. Put your heart in it. Act from what really matters to you. All right? And so what's number three? The third way to reduce stress and to be able to really recognize more opportunity is to take care of yourself. And now what do I mean by this? Really, I'm talking take care of your health. Like how well do you sleep at night? All right? If you don't sleep well, why not? Like, get to the bottom of it. There are doctors who are brilliant who can help you with this. All right? Like, is it your diet? Are you drinking like too much coffee? All right? For me, you know, I like the flavor of coffee, but it affects me. So there are often times when I just say, no, I'm not drinking. Like this week, I haven't drank a sip of coffee all week because it's like, oh, you know, if it starts to affect my sleep, it's like no more. All right? And so if that's you, try switching to tea. See if you sleep better. All right? And it's not just drink. It's like, how much sugar do you eat? How much sugar do I eat? Right? There's sugar in everything. And there's so much diabetes around. There's so much cancer, so much heart disease. If we look at this coronavirus pandemic, it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing, people, compared to diabetes, cancer, heart disease that are like really killing. All right? That are like really killing lots of us. And those things often are contributed to by our diet. Like, we can control it to some extent. Not always, right? So it's like, how much water do you drink? I'm not talking soda, not beer, not coffee, just pure water. Like, maybe it's time to drink more water. How physically fit is your body? Could your body use more physical fitness? Yes or no? All right? It's like, take better care of yourself, everybody. Why? Because you're worth it. All right? Your spouse is worth it. Your family's worth it. Like, take more care of yourself. Not only are you worth it, but if you do that, you will be more able to recognize opportunities around you. And that's the way it works. All right, so we talked about stress. We talked about stress, and thank you for going through that conversation with me. And now what I encourage everyone to do, all right, I encourage everyone to take out a piece of paper. You can do this on your workbook. And what I'd like everyone to do is, if it's just on a blank piece of paper, at the top, write the words, my current stressors. And really think about it. Like, take a minute and just like write down, what are the things that currently stress you out most often in your day? What are the things that stress you out? And, you know, like really take some time and do that. And the question to ask as you go through that is there, one, are they necessary? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. If they're not necessary, let's do what we can to eliminate that. Second, ask if there's a way to restructure the day, perhaps, so that the things that are stressful are out of the way in the morning. Like I want everyone to think about your day and just tell yourself that the morning is precious, because your morning is where you are getting ready to do what you need to do that day. And so you don't want to be stressed in the morning. And in fact, I would assert that your morning is the time where you want to be the least stressed, so that you can start your day powerfully, because otherwise the stress will ruin your whole day. Okay? So one is make a list of your current stressors. As you do that, think about, okay, could you eliminate them? And if not, could you reschedule them somehow so that they are not in the morning, so they don't ruin your whole day? All right? Now, sometimes the answer to that question is yes, and sometimes the answer to that question is no. Right? Maybe if your commute is the most stressful part of your day, then you probably can't avoid it. There might not be a very easy way to avoid that. All right? And so, and maybe there is, maybe there's not. I don't know. And so the next question then is, can you think of some kind of an action plan, some way that you can, something that you can implement to counteract the stressors so that you live happier? What do I mean by that? For example, maybe if the commute is the most stressful part of the day, which, you know, that's maybe true for a lot of people, maybe when you first arrive to wherever you're commuting to, you could put in a plan to meditate for maybe 5 minutes, right when you arrive. You could do a breathing exercise. You could, I don't know if this, depending on where you're going, you could do yoga. You could go for a walk after you get to where you're going to get the oxygen into your body, right, and to get the stress out so that you can then really focus on what you need to do. We just went through ways of just opening our minds, calming our thoughts, so that we can recognize better the opportunities that are around us. So now I want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to discuss how do we attract opportunities to us? How do we, forget recognizing them, how do we attract them? How do we bring them to us? How do we make it so doors just keep opening for us? All right, how does that sound? Does that sound good? Does that sound worthwhile? So this is what I want to say, and we're doing great. I want to offer 4 strategies that can attract opportunities to us. All right? 4 ways of doing this. The first is attitude. And what do I mean by that? There's no better way that I know of attracting positive change in our lives than to develop a positive, friendly, optimistic attitude. Like, I'm a business owner. I want to hire people. I want to do business with people who are positive and friendly and have a good attitude. All right? People, and of course it's not just me, people want to meet, shake hands with, remember, stay in communication with people who are friendly. It's more than just like business to business. If somebody's dating, you want to date, you want to like start a family with someone who makes you feel good, someone who has a positive, friendly, optimistic attitude for the most part. People want to have relationships with people who make them feel good and who they feel good around. And so develop a good attitude. Make others feel good when you're around them. Smile. Look people in the eye when you talk to them. It can make an enormous difference. My second strategy is to get complete with the past. Some people go around constantly talking about and thinking about the past. Oh, can you believe she said that to me? Can you believe he did that to me? Past, past. Who cares what she said? Who cares what he did? It happened. What difference does it make now? Here's the thing. There's always a difference between what really happens over on one side and what we say about what happens on the other side. There's always a difference between what actually happened and how we describe it. So, for example, you might hear somebody say, oh, she stabbed me in the back. And it's like, really? Like, what actually happened? Oh, okay, well, she said that she would do something and then she didn't do what she said. Okay, so that's not the same as someone actually literally stabbing a person in the back. Like, there are words that we use that create emotions that have us, just stuck in the past. And so really what I'm talking about is like stop playing the victim. Stop playing the victim. Oh, I can't believe this happened to me. Okay? Take a look at everything that has happened. My recommendation is like, okay, take a look at everything that has happened and be grateful for it somehow. Be grateful for it somehow. It's taught us what we've learned. We wouldn't be who we are today without those things, whatever they are. And we've all been through bad stuff. But we can be grateful for it. And we can use it to propel us forward so that we can move on. All right, so second strategy, get complete with the past. All right, so the first I talked about is attitude. Second is being complete with the past. The third that I want to talk about is the topic of integrity. All right? You want to attract more opportunity into your life? Have more integrity. And by that I mean do what you say you're going to do. All right? Integrity is a big topic, and I'm not going to go over all of it right here, right now. We're not going to become masters of it right here, right now. But basically, it's about being true to your commitments. Like if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you're not able to do it for any reason, call that person and clean it up right away. Don't make a big deal about it. Just clean it up recommit to something else if that's appropriate. The other thing about integrity is like, if you want to do something, do it. If you don't want to do something, that's okay too. But don't say, oh, you know, it's like, how many times does a person invite you to do something, and instead of just being honest and saying, no, I'd rather not, we make up these stories, right? We say things like, oh, I'd love to go to the lunch, you know, I'd love to go to lunch with you next week, but my, you know, my kids need me around the house, and I really, you know, I mean, whatever, I'm making this up. You make up some silly excuse instead of just being direct. It's like people are so afraid, right? People are so afraid, oh, if I just tell them the truth that I don't really want to go to lunch next week, then maybe he'll think I'm rude, or maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe he'll... And so people make up people are wishy-washy, and people make up excuses out of thin air, rather than just saying it straight on. No thanks, I'd rather not. All right? And it's like when we make up all this stuff, it doesn't have integrity. It's like we're not being straight with people. And the reason I'm saying it is like one, stop all of that. Like, just be honest. You know, if you'd rather not, you know, somebody invites me to like go to a bar and catch up, I'd say, no, I'd rather not. I'd actually rather meet for a cup of tea. All right? Just for my own health's sake, and why not? Right? I'd love to meet. That's a great idea. But I'd rather not do it over like a beer or in a bar setting. You can't hear people very well in a bar setting anyway. All right? Or even better yet, you could go for a walk together. Go for a walk around the lake or something. That's a more joyous way to interact with someone. So anyway, it's like if you want to attract more opportunities, just be more straight with people. Because it's easier to tell where you stand. And you'll get more opportunities if people can tell where you stand. And my fourth and final kind of strategy on how to attract opportunities into our lives has to do with relationships. And the idea is to cultivate and develop. Always look for ways to cultivate and develop relationships. Because here's the thing, almost always opportunities come through people. So if you, whatever it is that you're looking for, new job, new relationship, new, I don't know, new house, could be, whatever it is, you know, new, I don't know, new doctor. You're looking for a new doctor. You're looking for a new lawyer. Perfect, all right? Like, new opportunities always come through people. They always come through people. And so when you meet a person, look them in the eye. After you're done meeting them, send them an email, send them a text saying, hey, it was nice to meet you. You want to cultivate the relationships that you have. When it's like a business type relationship, when it's like a key conversation, send a thank you note. Send appreciation. All right? Look for ways to help people make connections. That increases opportunities for others, and it also increases opportunities for yourself as well. All right? All right, now we're getting somewhere. I love it. Thank you. So we know how to recognize opportunities, or to increase our chances of recognizing opportunities around us. We know how to attract opportunities into our lives. So now it's time to do an exercise. All right? So what is there to do next? The thing to do next is actually to ask for it. So what I encourage each of you to do is I encourage you to pair up with someone in your life. And you don't have to do it right here, right now. If we were like in a giant room together, which one day I will have these events in like a room, right? Like a conference. And if we were in a giant room together, I would have you pair up with the person next to you. But we're not in that setting. And so think of someone in your life, and you can do this later if that makes, if that makes more sense for you. And first, I want you to think about what kind of an opportunity do you want? What kind of an opportunity do you want? And I want you to write it down. New job, maybe a different position inside your job, all right? You want to meet the love of your life, all right? You want to make more money, right? You want to whatever it is, all right? Write it down. Write it down. Second, I want you to go to the person that you're going to do this exercise with. And this is what you say. You say, hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. I'm asking you because I trust you. And I want to ask you about how I can find a new opportunity. What can you see about how I could achieve X? Fill in the blank. Hello, my friend. I'm asking you because I trust you. Or if it's with your spouse, you could say, I'm asking you because I love you. I want you to help me find a new opportunity. What can you see about how I could achieve X? Whatever X is, whatever you're looking for. What's the opportunity you want? And after you ask that, you got to sit back and listen. And if it's a person who's got the courage and got the rapport with you and is willing to tell you the truth, sometimes, and this is kind of a warning, sometimes we might not like what we hear. Right? Sometimes we might not like what we hear. Right? Like what if somebody tells us, oh, well, the way to get that opportunity is you need to clean up your act. You need to, the way to get that opportunity is you need to, like, stand up straighter and wear nicer clothes and, like, actually comb your hair and, like, actually look more professional. If you want a professional type job, you got to bring your professionalism. Like maybe that's what you might hear. And that might feel like a slap in the face to hear it. But sometimes that's what opportunities are. They're an opportunity to change, to grow up, and sometimes they can feel like a bath of ice water, and sometimes they can feel like a slap in the face. But they're opportunities. And we want them. We want them. They're good. All right? And they're coming. The other thing I recommend is don't just ask one person. Really have this conversation with 5 or 6 people who you trust. And it's even better if you're asking people who you want to learn from, who have what it is, who have what it is you're looking for. Right? If you're looking for something more professional, ask somebody, hey, what opportunities are there? How can I achieve that in my life? Right? If you're looking for like the love of your life, ask people, hey, how could I attract? If people really know you, how could I attract the love of my life? All right? Well, put your phone down, right? Go meet people. It's tricky, perhaps, in the current climate, but that climate is changing. All right? Put yourself out there. Anyway, great. So do it. do it. And you don't have to do it right now, but do it this evening, right? And do it at a time when you can really sit down with people and go through the exercise and ask, hey, what do they see? What do they see would be a way that you could achieve whatever it is you want to achieve? All right, so we are now entering our final session for today. All right, and we're doing great. So here's the thing. We're all preparing, and we're all waiting, and we're all hoping for this opportunity of immigration reform. It's not going to come easy. It might not even happen. It might not happen at all, right? And even if it does happen, it might not benefit you. It might not, right? This is what I want for all my clients, for everyone listening to me. I don't want you to wait for it. I want you to live your life. Spot opportunities in other areas of your life. Yes, this pandemic is ending. Like, thank God, right? Thank goodness. Thank you to the world, to the universe. This pandemic is ending. There's like light at the end of that tunnel. And the truth is that there actually are opportunities everywhere. All right? And so be open. Be open to them. Grab onto them. Attract them to you. Take advantage of them. And now you might say, oh, but my restaurant went out of business. What do I do? You might say that. And that's horrible. There are lots of businesses out there that have gone out of business. You know? If you look at me right in the eyes and you ask me how my firm did during this pandemic, hey, we survived it, but we had to change a lot. We had to change a lot. It was not easy. All right? And I mentioned at the outset, I'm very, very grateful right now. Things are picking back up in terms of, you know, the numbers related to my business, right? But that's just a microcosm of what's happening out in the world. And it's like, okay, now's the time. We can find a new opportunity. We can help contribute to some other business. And really, it's like, let's help prevent that business from going under, right? Let's help it succeed. And here's the thing, this pandemic, it has left so many people in need of help. It's like, find someone and help them. That's really what opportunity is. It's like the best businesses get that. Because really all they're doing is they're trying to help other people. And the ones that succeed the most, they're helping others. And so if you are looking for a new path, or if you're looking for something else that you can do, you can find it by helping others. Right? And anyway, yeah. And so we're getting right down to it. All right? And what I want to leave you with is that it's time for action. We can recognize opportunity. We can talk about opportunity all day. We have. I have been, all right, since like 8 in the morning. And now it's time to act on the opportunities that we have. And so let me ask you, right? The next Client Success Summit will happen on July 24th. You can pull out your calendar. You can put it in your calendar. And the question is, what actions do you want to take in between now and July 24th? Like, what do you want to achieve by then? You've got the next 3 months. You can achieve anything you want. All right? If you want a new job, you can get a new job. If you want to create the love of your life, you can create the love of your life. You can do that in 3 months. People do it. All right? And then it's like, okay, if that's the goal, what are the steps needed to go for that? If that's the goal, if that's what you want, what I encourage people to do is to create 3 milestones that would need to happen to reach that goal. And, 3 months, 3 milestones. What are the actions that you're going to need to put in place to hit the first one? And really list it out. And we've got that in your workbook. You can see, I think it's page 7 of your workbook. Yeah. And you could write it out. And you could think about how you want to improve your life in the next 90 days. And then go for it. All right? And so that's it. That's it. Now you know. Now you know. You can attract an opportunity. You can, all right, you can recognize the opportunities that are already around you. And yes, you can take action on them as well. So thank you all so much for being here. I know it's Saturday in the Bay Area. It's like a beautiful day today. You all have a million other things that you could be doing. And so thank you for being here with me. All right? I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for listening to the Empowered Immigrant Podcast. If you like what you heard and if you want to learn more, please go to landerholmimmigration.com/podcast.